Hey tribe, we're gonna get some divine guidance. As always, take what's for you. I want to get a feel here for what cards we're gonna use. Alright. This guidance is gonna be for who is for. I just heard overcoming temptation. I'm hearing like overcoming obstacles and recognizing free will. It's like I'm hearing a certain honor in recognizing what you have the capacity to do. And no matter what the scale, it's like you can grow where you need to grow. You can heal where you need to heal, succeed where you need to succeed. But you can't fear recognition. In order to recognize what needs to happen, you have to honor self enough to explore self. And it's like this energy where you have to grow to accept before you can transform. It's this energy where even if you have to enter what we call like the shadow aspect of ourself, which is really just the lower vibrational way of experiencing that could potentially hold you back from succeeding in whatever is the object of your concentration, of your focus, of your alignment, your desire. I'm hearing trust, faith. It's this energy where as you're being faced with overcoming certain aspects in ourselves that we may desire to change, or aspects in our life that are merely a reflection of something being held within ourselves, as we seek to overcome it, allow yourself to surrender and not place it under a title of, I'm hearing it like desire or need, change, control. It's this energy where they want you to simply the way they're showing me is just looking at it as if they're trying to say to just observe. This is an interesting message already. It's this energy where they want you to simply observe your experience. I'm hearing it's like toxic energies will begin to reveal themselves in many different forms, whether it's internal or external. To really identify what's happening within your experience as a whole is to observe, to go with the flow in terms of doing what needs to be done for your daily well-being. But for all things outside of self, for all things that grows within your experience, you encounter in your experience. They're telling you to observe, not necessarily be reactive, proactive, or they're explaining it like reduce it down. So maybe some of you feel like you have to always know why something's happening in your experience rather than just experiencing it. It's this energy where whatever's happening in your experience right now, the present moment, allow yourself to go with the flow. And it's almost like it will identify itself. It's this energy of no matter what it is, if you allow yourself to, they just keep saying it as observe, to observe it. Hangman. It's again this energy where they want you to, it's like I'm hearing no action is an action. It's a powerful action. It reminds me of something I used to say pretty early on where in my readings, it's this energy where sometimes you get the most momentum by being still. And this is exactly what it is. It's almost like that slingshot effect where, you know, I'm hearing identifying patterns, identifying this is an energy of being able to identify in the moment what resonates with your truth, what resonates with aspects of yourself that are shattered, that are broken. In what way are events unfolding in your life that's actively mending you back together on a soulful level? They're bringing me back down to this energy again. They're specifically saying deduce it down. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. And they're saying like not to an event, not to a moment in time, but to something that lives within yourself. It's this energy where there's like two sides of you. There's two sides of you. And they're saying that you've always narrowed down throat chakra. You've always narrowed down. They're saying it specifically only but one side of you. It brings me back to that shadow aspect of yourself again that we said something about in the beginning. You've identified with only one aspect of yourself. But there's many different aspects of yourself. And I'm seeing this as this being like your truest form. You know, your higher self. It's something about the way this is in the physical vessel here, where it's something here where this is the all-encompass aspect of you that all should see. But it takes taming the different aspects of yourself to achieve this elevation. You see here these wings. To get to this version of yourself. I feel like this is an energy where this time, though it may be different for all of you, this time is really a time to go in and not only retrieve but experience this higher aspect of yourself. It's like this four here, and fours relate to stability. It's this energy where it's stability that can be derived from a different aspect of yourself. That shadow aspect of yourself that you maybe didn't want to identify with. Maybe had just been so, I'm hearing specifically, sheltered from, or for some of you it's misguidance. You've done research in a worldly way, where now it's time for you to actually go within and get the answers that you can't go YouTube, you can't go Google, you can't go ask a friend, tell a friend. You've got to go find that stability in a different way. And like I said, it's this energy where you get the most momentum by being still. I feel like, especially going with this chariot is fast moving energy, which means I feel like this period of stillness is not going to be for a long time. If you look at it properly and you're willing to sacrifice outdated beliefs of yourself and your reality and your ability to communicate with the higher aspect of yourself, if you allow yourself to really be true to your nature, your true self, it's this energy where you leave the worldly limitations, either self-created or put on self, and accept it. You leave that in the past and you set out to go find your own journey. And you bring all of the different, we said shattered aspects of self before. You bring it all with you. But it's the healthy aspects of self. It's not the toxic, look at that. It's not the toxic aspects of self. It's the divine, I'm hearing soulfully evolved self. There's that polarity again, that duality again here. There's also a color theme here. Like I said, if you simply surrender, it's all about surrendering here. Hangman talks about sacrifice, more specifically self-sacrifice, or sacrificing something near and dear, personal to self. That could definitely be, especially with it being about a perspective thing, it could be sacrificing a limiting belief of self or future self. Once you sacrifice that, you're propelled forward. But you're not only propelled forward through the empowerment of self, but these are major. So you're propelled forward also with the assistance of the divine. What we don't want to do is try to put something all in the divine hands, because we know that faith without work is dead. We know that you have to actively apply yourself in whatever level is fitting for that moment. At times we do it mostly on our own, but then at other times we're carried. We're placed in that buggy and we're carried by the divine aspects of ourselves. But then at times again we're back on our feet. You know what I mean? And high priestess is someone who can assist herself and others. It's a spiritual, very spiritually developed individual or being. It could be you. It could be a higher version of yourself. It could be you fully walking in that divinity, which makes you, I'm hearing specifically, masterful. A part of your success is your ability to aid others. But we have to remember when it comes to aiding others, the only thing that ever makes us not want to be of assistance is when we're doing something that's not aligned with our truer self, right? So it's this energy where if you continue to make your yes, mean something, matter, and you continue to make your no equally as important, you know what I mean? It directly helps you stay in your integrity, stay in your truer sense of self. It's almost this energy where you not only walk, but you're carried by the divine. They're bringing me back to these wings here, where you could walk or you can fly. You know? Your abilities allow you to fly. They allow you to soar out of darkness into the light. You know, the sun is always on the other side of the moon, as we've said before. But the moon also speaks about you not having fear in what can be perceived as the unknown. If you continue to be tapped in, then there is no unknown. There's only unfold, right? There's no fear in the unfolding because it's ever changing. How can you change? How can you fear change? At least we know that we should not fear change. Limitations is what ultimately deprives us of what we know is meant to be ours, right? If you desire it, then it's yours on some level already, right? The sun, the blessing, the awakening, the enlightenment, the entitlement I'm hearing, the alignment, the benefit, the blessings. There's even this aspect of recognition here. All of this is, I'm hearing it's like it's something that you can absolutely look forward to, but it's by your willingness to lighten your load in order to move forward, sacrificing of something. For some of you, it can be, people, the way you view any noun in your life. It's something, it's give something, receive something. Open yourself to receive. They're associating this lightening of a load to this chariot here. There's an energy here of something holding you down or holding you back. And we know that we must give anything that holds us back permission, Again, that singular energy where you are in control of this chariot. You are in control of fate, of destiny, of purpose, even the things that are ever changing. We know that fate and purpose is something that ever changes. I personally believe that purpose is simply succeeding in your many missions in life. There is no one purpose. Your purpose is to succeed in your many missions, doing what needs to be done, to continue to ascend, to be shed of your old skin, to grow beyond what your previous beliefs were, sacrificing of old limitations, previous beliefs, right? Stepping into an abundant future where you're able to recognize that you hold the key to not only your enlightenment, but your future. Because through enlightenment, you help to create your future, not to predict it, but to create it. You can predict one thing and it changed tomorrow. Now you're living in a past perception of what the future is. You've unlocked more potential, hopefully continually, right? Therefore, things are ever changing. This is what we talk about when we say you're not living to succeed in one purpose. Throat chakra again. You're not living to succeed in one purpose, but yet to purposefully succeed in each mission, right? I'm loving this. I love this. I want to get some advice. Where are we going here? I'm hearing romance angels specifically. Best advice as this pertains to the tribe here. How are we clarifying? Starting with the hangman. I have 2 cards for the hangman. Love yourself first in counseling. Again, they're bringing me back to, look at that, deception. Removing Wow, I just got a jolt of energy. It was almost like a kick in the ass. Removing, removing this. It really comes down to a limiting belief in self. Look at that, justice. Selling yourself short. You're not attracting, or more so aligning. If there's any standstills, slow movement, hangman, right? This is to get you more in tune with loving yourself, identifying with your own power, not trying to retrieve power outside of yourself, looking to others for what you can achieve, setting your own heights, not conforming to what's already been done, but aligning to something better, a better version of yourself, right? With counseling, some of you do need to stop deceiving yourself as if you haven't been through shit that you need to talk about, you need to discuss. Whether that's with some sort of therapist or simply the divine aspect of yourself. Ultimately, you have to have a relationship with yourself to have a relationship with the divine, because the divine lives through you. Your telephone to that divine connection is internal, right? So to get the rawest information, the realest information, not to not get that third party advice, to not get that, I'm hearing it like telephone, through people it can be more distorted, but through self it's authentic, it's raw. To stop deceiving yourself, you have to get raw. And for some of you, if to be honest with yourself, you got to be honest with yourself. Am I able to coach myself through this? Am I in tune enough spiritually that I can just go straight in? Or do I still need to develop myself more? And in the meantime, communicate with someone who has studied, who is passionate about helping people through difficulties or releasing difficulties. Whether that's a therapist, a shaman, whatever. There's different forms, But ultimately, the way that I'm hearing it like the door to justice is simply relieving yourself of feeling like you have to be the one to balance the scales. What is karma's job? What is the divine's job? Justice is the divine's job. Your job is to simply get your shit together. Let's put it simple. Get your shit together so that you can truly align. Right? And then propel. And then far beyond the moon, right? Look, the moon, far beyond the moon. Judgment, ascending, arising. Look at this. There's no moon here. I'm seeing it like a transformation in the, and take it how you want, but this is a transformation in the consciousness, the conscious beings. I want to explain this right. This is you communicating with higher level beings. This is you being able to communicate with higher level beings in your ascension process. Not only talking to angels, but talking to gods of many different you get what I'm saying here, I feel. Let's get this chariot here. You are on the right path. You are on the right path with this chariot. When you shoot off, you're on the right path. Assurance. Back to that justice, right? It's not your job to create the justice. It's your job to align with what's fair and just for you, right? What feels right? What is right? This family card feels like you embracing your divine assistance. And that's divine assistance in all forms. Family, friends, tribe members, the divine, your spiritual team. The assistance from the different aspects of yourself, as well as the assistance from your team, You've lightened your load here, remember? Therefore, you have room for the divine. Reconciliation. Back in tune with the divine. Look at that. It's time to decide. What energies are you going to fill this cart with? When you slingshot out of this healing process, basically, a detaching process as you heal and remove yourself from limitations. What's in this basket here? Is it faith? Is it those who serve you? Is it the energies and the thoughts and all that serves you? Is it the words you speak that serve you? A lot of crown chakra energy here. Is it enough room to receive with this crown chakra energy? Is it enough room to receive? That's part of what you can focus on in this energy of the divine slowing shit down. What am I putting back in my cart? Everything. I feel like this energy where everything was dumped out of your cart, or you need a bird's eye view of what all is in your cart. You've got to see what's really in the back of that fucking wagon. But you're on the right path, therefore you know that you're doing the right thing. So let the divine create the next steps. Remember identifying with that High Priestess next. And remember, I felt like you did. You've pretty much surrendered to this understanding. Get to know each other at the bottom. A close relationship with the divine. A close relationship with the divine, and especially the divine within yourself. You cannot be comfortable with external energies if you're not comfortable with yourself, or you can be communing with any fucking being in this world. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. All types of entities and energies can reach out to you if you're not divinely protecting yourself. Which means you have to be tapped in and tuned in. We talked about the crown energy. What does this High Priestess have on? Crown protection, right? What does this Ascendant Master here have on its head? Crown protection, right? What just came in through the crown? Divine energy, right? Protecting your blessings, protecting the biggest blessing of them all, yourself. Love yourself first. You learn how to protect the biggest blessing of them all. The biggest blessing of them all was you having the opportunity to have a physical experience. Look at that, to be put into a vessel, right? Crystals, more crown chakra energy. The assistance is what I feel here. Although you left the spiritual realm and decided to take on a physical vessel experience, you did not come down here absent of the things that assist you on your path. Your psychic abilities, your divine sense of self, your ability to protect your energy through means that were a gift to you already here in this beautiful place, right? Including the people sent the soulmate energies, good or bad. What we perceive to be bad are simply lessons according to how you choose to take that test, that course in life, right? Options, past life relationships, that course, right? Past life relationship is simply what? A soulmate. The people in your experience, the nouns in your experience, because let's not forget that all things that have life have a soul. So it's not simply just the people, but it's also the animals, the trees, the plants, the insects, that brings us to that animal guide energy, The things that amplify your ability to have faith in your experience. The signs, the synchronicities, the transformations happening in oneself that you know are full of elevation, right? These cycles coming to an end based on karmic completions, right? Children, the foundation of self. You come in very psychically aware and in tune as a child, but oftentimes we lose that attunement, I'm hearing. Crystals help amplify that divine connection, right? And this is energy where you don't want to fear ending karmic connections because ultimately it serves you in your ascension process, right? You come in with these soul connections, soulmate experiences, right? Even before you fully experience enough shit in your life to think you know enough, right? Children, right? Before options are truly presented in your path. You know, it's like that energy as a child, decisions are made for you. So you don't really comprehend what options really are, decision making really is, right? Some of us are forced early on as a child to make our own decisions, right? But if you pay attention, especially in situations where you need guidance and clarity, the divine begins to open up doors because you're seeking that energy of seek, and the door will be opened. The divine guidance will be provided. You're more receptive as a child to guidance, you know. A lot of times you hear these miraculous stories where children are, you know, in these situations, and you're like, you know, how did you make it out of that? And it's just like something guided me, either you know, whatever it was, different things. True love. You got the option to nourish yourself. Time to make a decision. You have the option to nourish yourself and nourish that inner child. Some of you unlock more abilities by getting right with the foundation of self, root chakra, the inner child. Magician is draped in the root chakra energy, but he's also pure with his white and authentic enough to know how to balance the two. You know, the white transcends the crown chakra energy. You know, you have more than 7 chakras. You know, it's this energy with that, especially with the infinity sign, going straight into the divine sense of self, purified, aligned. It's this energy where you're so confident in yourself. You've released limiting beliefs that you look at that strength. What's behind it? You've merged with yourself, Empress. You know, you've learned how to let the divine help you. You've grown stronger, and you've joined this sacred union with yourself. You've come back into harmony. And now it's time to practice, not only I'm hearing humility, determination, willfulness, but faith, divine assurance, and self-assurance. Emperor behind that. There's so much to be obtained by allowing yourself to go down a new path. Whatever needs to be sacrificed, and your intuition will tell you what it is. It's different ways it can be taken for different people. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why we didn't pull out tarot, because I didn't want to be, the divine maybe didn't want me to be influenced by the suits. This is so personal to self that you have to allow yourself to high priestess, to hangman. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I love you guys. Allow yourself to practice daily your passions. Study behind that. I'm feeling this energy where it's practicing healing every day. This passion is bringing me to fire. It's this energy where it's like practice transformation every day. When something arises in yourself that you know it stems from a limiting belief of self, you know, or a limitation, all things that you, again, desire stems from something. Is it something that can be burned up? Fire, you know, passion. Is it something that aligns with your passion, or is it something that is coming up to be released as you're going down this new path? Nobody can tell you what it is but you. I feel like you can be truly, we did talk about that, you can be truly misguided by some of these readers out here today because they're giving you a generalized, it's a general reading. I mean, shit, you know? I love you guys. And I thank you guys so much for the support. I get in tune, you know? Release what really needs to be released. And I really think, throat chakra again, for some of you, it's really honoring yourself. Some of you are not speaking your truth. And more importantly, you're not speaking your truth into your experience. So it's not, it's not manifesting as fast as you want. Why? Because manifestation is really alignment. And if what you're thinking, feeling, and seeing and saying is not aligned, then it's not going to what you call manifest. You're going to keep being. And I feel like the divine is really protecting you. That's why they're putting you in the hangman and not any lower vibrational shit. Because it's this energy where you're not going to be knocked off your path. Because you're going to be faced with the dual aspect of all things. Of all you. Because it's that saying, there's no such thing as things. Which means that all of the energies you encounter in your life is just a reflection of your creative abilities, what you've created for your experience. And they're telling me either, it's either a creation of what you've already orchestrated before taking on this vessel, or either a creation of what you've set out in your present experience, It's that energy where what your divine self has for you and what your physical self has created for you. You know what I mean? Now it's time to tackle and merge these two where it's able to be beneficial for you overall in your experience. And a large aspect of this is allowing yourself to go beyond the limitations of self. And how do you do this? You do this through your abilities. Do not fear your abilities. Do not fear when, the divine sends people in your experience that can reveal different things about you as well. But before, it's this energy where the divine is telling me you cannot take what other people say to you personally until you have personally done the work. You see what I'm saying? It's this energy where for now, you're just observing what is coming at you in your experience. You're just observing what people say and do. But in the future, you're going to be able to essentially recognize it before you have to repeat this process, So I love you guys. I'm going to leave it there. You guys have a great one. Support each other and support the channel.